Yo, yo, what up, y'all? Man, I got a question that I really want to ask. Like, have you ever felt betrayed by a coworker that you actually thought you can trust? Because if you have, you know that it's a painful lesson that I feel like we all have to learn the hard way. And the truth is that professional trust and friendship are two different beasts. But it's actually easy to kind of navigate those things once you understand the dynamics better. And I had to learn a lot of that through personal experience in the corporate world. That's why I want to be able to help you understand why professional trust is not friendship. And I'm also going to do my best to kind of unpack some of the risk that that come with overly trusting your coworkers. And then at the end, I'm going to also give you some strategies for just maintaining those healthy professional relationships without sacrificing like your authenticity, so you can still be yourself. Because what I've learned in the last like 10 to 15 years working in corporate America is that there's this kind of like an unspoken rule that can somewhat make or break your success on how you navigate relationships. Because you have to understand the critical difference between trust and friendship in your job. Because a lot of times we're taught to build trust within our colleagues or into our business with our friends. We say, okay, this is my friend, this is my colleague. But then a lot of times those lines get blurred, especially when you spend a lot of time with certain people. You think they're your friend more than they actually are. So first, I think it's best to understand that the professional trust and friendship trust are completely different and they have different foundations. A good way to think about it is professional trust is usually built on competence, reliability, and respect. So think about that when you think about professional trust. You trust that your colleague will do their job and they're going to meet their deadlines and just be professional overall. Now, on the flip side, though, when you think about your friendships, the homies, all of that stuff, these are usually based on shared values and like just personal connections and some type of like emotional intimacy, even if you don't know it. You actually choose your friends based on who they are as people and how they actually make you feel. Really think about that. You actually choose your actual friends. So an example I think about is like a long time ago, a coworker of mine who I built like what I thought was like a solid relationship with, they needed help getting out of a low performing environment, and me being a manager, I instantly thought like, yeah, of course I'm going to help this person. It's my friend. At the end of the day, this is my friend. We work together, but this is my friend. We did share a lot of the same values, and we had all those like connections and so forth. And once I positioned this person for success and laid all the groundwork out for them to be in a better position, I discussed things like workload. They agreed to doing the work. I told them what it's going to take, how long it's going to take, and they say, yeah, I'm game. Literally the next day, they resigned from the entire company. And I'm talking about a trillion-dollar company. And what I learned from that was that even though we did share a lot of the same values, I put myself on the line for this person as a friend, not as a colleague. Whereas they treated me more as a colleague and not as a friend. So that lesson learned is on me. Another way to think about it is you can trust a colleague to, like I said, they're going to deliver that presentation because their job is on the line. They have to. Or they're going to get that document on time to the best degree that they can. Now, your friend on the flip side, they're going to be, outside of work, your friend, you probably would never trust that person with getting a project done. You know that they're going to be behind. Like, you know they're not going to do the things that you need them to do. You kind of get what I'm saying? That's why you have to be aware and then manage the risk that comes with overly trusting your coworkers. See what I'm saying? It kind of dives into another section because in a professional setting, when things do get hot and spicy, people will do anything to cover themselves. And I've seen it. They lie, cheat, steal, which is why I understand that those boundaries and consequences are so important. You have to be smart. You have to play the game too. So when it comes to boundaries in the professional world, you have to make sure you maintain some sort of professional distance. What that's going to do is going to help you avoid things like oversharing. You got to be careful. I know it's hard because trust me, I've been there. But when you think you found someone at work that you can actually trust, and you think that person is actually your friend, even then, I'm telling you right now, keep your interactions focused on work-related matters. I've seen too many things go south all the time. Have you ever been in that situation? Now, with your friends, I feel like on the other side, you can be a lot more open. You can share things you feel comfortable talking about. You can talk about life, relationships, thoughts, feelings, whatever. And it's way different. And the one thing, and when I think about one of the things my manager told me, and it didn't sit well when they told me this, but later in my career, it made sense. Your manager is not your friend. So what that means is that just keep business as that. It's business. And don't get overly involved. Do your best not to get overly involved, because maintaining this business mindset and approach, that's what's going to keep you from falling into the toxicity of potential rumors and gossips, the gossip gremlins, the negative Nancys, all that stuff that happens in the workplace, which could be horrible and detrimental to your career. I've literally seen individuals try to take down entire organizations by poisoning the well one by one. I literally saw it happen. So if you ever get caught in those situations, you can just cut it short and not engage, or you can just be a listener, but don't fall into the situation of being too friendly. You always have to think CYA, cover your, and I like to call that the kind of just being the respectful observer. I've always practiced that, just being a respectful observer of your coworkers. So noticing their communication styles and noticing your own, but still respecting them and then respecting their boundaries, because what this does is help build that rapport, showing that, yeah, you do value them as an individual, but you don't have to get too close. Which leads me to another strategy I like to lean into, which is just being that, like I said, the boundary setter. You have to set those boundaries. You be that person who establishes clear boundaries between your professional and personal life. Because if you're not mindful of what you share and how you interact with your coworkers, it can go all over the place. It doesn't matter if it's over a call, over a video call, a ping, an email, or even social media. It's you have to find ways to protect your privacy and prevent any weird situations from happening. At the end of the day, though, just act with integrity. That's the main thing you want to do, and uphold ethical standards in the workplace. I feel like the more that you practice this and the more that you really emphasize these strategies and approaches, you're going to become more aware of these things, and you can actually develop positive, productive working relationships. I feel like everyone, have you actually been in a situation where a coworker did you dirty? You thought your coworker was your friend, and then at the end of the day, they did you dirty and threw you under the bus to make them look better? All right, so even though it's great to have friendly relationships, you got to remember it's important to know that professional trust is built on completely different principles than friendships. Let that sink in. I'd say take some time. Do you take time to analyze your work relationships and get a better understanding of distinctions so you can navigate your workplace? Or are you just kind of going in there letting everybody know all your business and just having fun? All right, you got to be smart about how you go about this thing. All of it is so different. The workplace is very different than friendship. So I love to hear about your experiences with trust in the workplace and how you navigate those challenges, because like I said, I feel like we've all been through it. Have you ever had problems with trust in the workplace, and how do you navigate those challenges? Now, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop me a message. Go follow me on TikTok at it's brgreen. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with somebody, and again, thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.